and welcome to Steve's Monumental Adventure, and we are on episode 34 and we're back in my home county of Shropshire, and we're going to take a look at the Nesscliffe Country Park. Well, hello. We have just parked at Nesscliffe Woods. Okay, now this is just outside Shrewsbury. This is the village of Nesscliffe, and yeah, there's basically a big forest here of, I think, huge fir trees. Really, they're huge. Anyway, they're not what we've come to see, even though this is a great place for you to come and have a sort of look around. God, it looks steep up there. Anyway, but we are here to see a cave called Kineston Cave, because part of this hill is made up of red sandstone, and the sandstone is here for the simple reason because when we were years and years ago, when the area was sort of covered in beautiful like beaches, really nice hot beaches, we were pushed sort of nearer the equator where we are now, and that is why you've got this red sandstone that you get, especially here. So that's why it basically is just a huge sandstone outcrop, similar to Kinver Edge, really. First time I've been here, so I'm probably going to get lost, but nice woodland. Now this is quite an old lane, this is, on this entrance. You can see how sunken in it is, and lanes like this get sunken mainly due to vehicles coming in and out and foot traffic and stuff. But obviously, just remember, part of this was originally a quarry once, and as you know, it's all about the red sandstone here. So as we come down here, part of the quarry opens up onto the left hand side where the people are coming out of. Whichever way you look at it, there's a bit of a climb up to the caves and sandstone itself, whichever car park you choose. And you can already see part of that quarry there and the high wall. So this is the face of this quarry, as you can see. It's been done quite nicely. This part of the Nesscliffe Country Park has been extensively quarried over the years, and the first quarry appeared on the map in 1890, and you can see how this rock face here has been cut out, more than likely with just hand tools. So as we get up close and personal with this sandstone, you can actually see that there's this big ridge above us here. And then there's this huge shard here which is completely broken off and just literally as literally sat in that little piece there and literally dropped and just dropped here into this place ever so neatly, almost like it's slid down. That's pretty awesome. That's a hell of a chunk of sandstone. And what gives it its reddish colour is the iron oxide. The iron oxide is what holds it all together and gives it that red tinge. But any exposed pieces are more likely to turn, the algae is meant to attack it and turn it to that green effect. But you can see these big fractures running up. This rock face is super sized.
The rock faces you see are very popular with climbing groups, and they often spend weekends here practicing climbing.
A lot of this sandstone is formed by fossilised sand dunes, and this is what would have happened here is layers and layers and layers of sand would have packed up into a dune, and then sort of the sand particles would have been welded together with the iron oxide, and created these huge big cliffs like you see now. And this sort of sandstone can be found all over Shropshire in certain pockets. More famous is Bridgenorth in particular, and a lot of these were actually made into caves and stuff like that because it's really good quality sandstone, and you can home it out really easy and create. And also Kimver Edge is another great location of where we had red sandstone. So yeah, it absolutely is awesome. The quarry also extends over to the right hand side too.
The sandstone that would have been quarried from here was used on many buildings, including churches, halls, etc. All examples of this rich red sandstone can be found all over Shropshire.
What's really strange is you can actually see there the letters ER. Now that's actually in a few places around the quarry, and I mean, just look at this thing, it is absolutely huge.
The beautiful Nesscliffe Country Park is made up of 770 hectares, that's 140 football pitches. Predominantly the hill is made up of red sandstone that's layered up with grains of quartz, and these were laid down by sand dunes in the Jurassic period, which was 252 million years ago. It was the same time as the mass extinction of the dinosaurs.
So Nesscliffe Hill is quite a big place really. It'll take a bit of a while to walk around it. Boy, it's full of little trails like this. Yeah, so it's used by cyclists. You know, the trails around here are pretty good. But there's lots of different bits and pieces here. So there's actually two parts to this hill, and as you can see over there, there's the road, and there's another little hill over there. Look, you can see another wooded section of hill. So this is quite big. There's plenty to explore. But there's another area called, another sort of feature called Oliver's Point, and that is on the far side of what we're about to see. Now, you cannot, or should I say, it'll be impossible to have a hill of any kind without there being an Iron Age hill fort on the side. And this is what we've got here. So this is the Nesscliffe Iron Age hill fort. So there's a little bit of a picture there. We do have a Iron Age hill fort, which is on this part, and we can tell it's a hill fort because it's a huge clearing in the trees. So straight away you can start to see the clearing now, and the defences around the outside of it. Look, you can see. So we've got a big clearing in the ground. So I think the only way to see this is actually to be able to put the drone up.
Nesscliffe Camp, or Nesscliffe Hill Fort, is a great example of a Roman hill fort. Now, this was actually used for show. It was never used for any kind of military action or anything like that, but it was created around about 600 BC. The fort is surrounded by some huge infill ditches, and it's thought that the original Iron Age fort was built for show, just intended to actually impress the neighbours. It saw no military action. However, during recent excavations, it was found that the actual hill fort was used for Roman occupation at some point during the Roman invasion.
So you can imagine this big open space with loads of huts and stuff like that, roundhouses and everything here. What a sight that must have been. So we're just going to cut through here now, and this is going to bring us to a well-known viewpoint. I'm just going through this gap now, and as we see, we've got the hill fort there, and if I come across, we've got a well-known Nesscliffe viewpoint here, Oliver's Point.
Oliver's Point got its name after Oliver Cromwell.
So this viewpoint is awesome because you can see here that quite literally you have the most amazing views. And all perched on top of this rock here, which has got everybody's names scribed into it. I love this here, look, you can see this track has actually been made up of these rocks leading up to the Iron Age hill fort there. You can see how all the rocks have been created to create a pathway up here. Really nice. I've just come to the side of Kineston Cave now, and you can see here where it looks like somebody's tried to start to cut out some steps there and just kind of like giving up on the effect. Funny, isn't it, how people sort of feel the need to scrape their name on the wall, isn't it? It's quite odd, really. But there's this big, huge outcrop underneath here. Look, this big outcrop of rock, look.
This is Kineston Cave, home to Humphrey Kineston, the legendary highwayman.
So this is pretty awesome, isn't it? So we've got these, look at these steps, how these sandstone steps have been cut out. And then they go up to the cave, which we can't get into unfortunately. But that's so clever, isn't it? And a couple of little sort of motifs just as you go in. But this is one hell of a sandstone cliff. Okay, we've done the steps, so let's go up them. God, they are slippy as anything.
Humphrey Kineston was a notorious highwayman who robbed from the rich and gave to the poor, a very interesting Robin Hood type character. He was convicted for murder in 1491 and then became an outlaw. He then eventually was pardoned after spending many years in Kineston Cave.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that trip to Nesscliffe, or Nesscliffe Country Park. It is really, really nice, isn't it? I bet you, sort of place you could wander around here for ages. Some big steps though, some big steps, but well worth it. The rock face and the caves are just simply great. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that. Don't forget to give me a like, subscribe, leave a comment in the comments box what you like about Monumental. Is there a favourite film that you've watched, or is there a location you'd like me to go to? If so, just leave a comment in the box. And until next week, where there'll be a new video every week, take care.